Oh, hi. It's Greg. It's Friday. Let's look at plays. Hey everybody, it's Greg with betterofficial.com, where we craft video to help basketball officials get better and take control of their officiating careers. Subscribe and like below. If you want to buy us a cup of coffee, the link is above. But let's look at plays. Welcome to the first 5-play Friday of the 2019-2020 basketball season. Super excited to get things started. In our first episode of the year this year, it's going to be a longer episode. The plays are not controversial plays. What we're primarily focusing on is position and habits of the crew. As we embark on the season, we want to have a to-do list of things that we're focusing on, and those have to include the basics of court positioning, how our body is positioned to the players on the court, identifying the players and the matchups in our primary coverage area, and officiating the most important things, but always positioning our body so that we have maximum information receiving capability. We want to obtain and maintain open looks on plays. These are just the basics. We have to be focused on them and working actively at all times to make sure that we are accomplishing the basics. All right, let's look at plays.
This clip lasts for 14 seconds. When you analyze your game video, you could spend 30 minutes working on a 14-second clip. There is so much information packed into clips like this about where you are, where the crew is, what habits are being displayed, etc. Whenever we work as center in three-person games, you can take all of this information and apply it to working trail in two-person games. So don't feel excluded if you're exclusively working two-person basketball. In this play, the trail has the primary on-ball matchup. The center official will be working off-ball. Whenever we're working off-ball, we want to be ball aware, but officiating players in our primary. Starting position as center, free throw line extended, perfect. Center needs to be ball aware. The center's job is to determine what is going on in my primary coverage area. So center in this instance is focusing on primary coverage area. Not a lot going on. If we're officiating these players and we see this action by the offensive player where they move from our right to our left, so they move right to left, we move left to right. Open look on the play. Do we expect a rotation in this situation? Yes. Yes, we do. Does that mean anything about giving up our open look? Does the fact that this official knows that they've become the trail affect their position on this play? Absolutely not. They have the perfect look. Defender's hands, offensive player. Our number one priority is the open look. Defender comes close, we have a closely guarded situation, we begin a count. Player dribbles away. So we've had obtained an open look. Now our job is to maintain an open look. And we have to do that by moving our body. Secondary defender comes in. We need this look on the play. Body angle here, not ideal. If I was analyzing my game video, I'm looking at my shoulders here, how I'm turned away from the end line. I'd want to be more open to the court. But in getting from here to here, the look is good. We had a great look. The ball went away. We officiate the player back down to the floor. All is good here. What we don't want to do is keep going and drift away from the play. Note the official, body position open to the court, head open to the play. When you look at the game right here, where's the game? Nothing, 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 nothing. Everything is right here. This deserves 100% of our attention. Now, if there was no foul and a missed shot, we're going to then focus on rebounding action coming in. But our entire game is right here. Double whistle from center and lead. Would the trail official have put a whistle on this play had the whistle not come from the center? You have to think he would. Wide open look, great look at the play, discipline. But let's review. Ball aware, properly positioned on the court, aware of what the primary coverage area is and the players in the primary coverage area. Position adjust to obtain an open look on the play. Position adjust to maintain an open look on the play. Stay connected to the play and officiate to the end. Now let's look at a two-person game and the actions of the crew. Let's focus on the trail in this situation. Look at this on-ball matchup and just think about what the relative intensity of this matchup is and how much attention we need to give to this matchup, right? Team has brought the ball into the front court. They're initiating their offensive action. If we have a low-intensity matchup here as trail, that gives us the opportunity to officiate additional action and see what's going to happen next. Ball goes to the wing. This is our on-ball matchup. How would we describe the intensity of this matchup? Not much going on. Kick back out. Notice how the trail, since we have a low-intensity matchup here, the trail maintains his attention on the ball, on the player who just had the ball, who's cutting. And we have screening action in the trail's primary off ball. Body position, open to the court. Since this matchup doesn't require a lot of attention, gives us freedom to officiate off ball. Determines this screening action is legal. Now resumes attention on ball. The ball goes into the lead's primary. What do we expect the trail to do? Step down. Step down for rebounding action so you can see through the players. All the players are basically positioned north to south here, right? Need to see between these players. Between these players and between these players. And that can be accomplished by stepping down. Free throw line extended would be expected. Free throw line extended. See how it is open look on this play? Perfect position as trail for rebounding action. Players are competing. All right, we got arm contact by the defender, called by the trail. Love it. All right, now let's look at the lead. So we've got post-action opposite. What's the relative importance of this matchup, this matchup? These are freezing cold competitively. This post-action is our matchup of interest. So it looks like lead is willing to come across and work strong side as lead, but then it dissipates, right? Once the ball is swung here and kicked back out on top, the intensity of that post matchup dissipates. So we back out. Note, open body position, open to the court. Could be a little bit better. We had screening action here. We are potentially going to have screening action here. Need to be aware of this. Not there, right? We had another possible screening action here. But note the body position mirroring the ball. When the ball went from here to here to here and now to here, mirroring the ball as lead. Obtaining an open look on the play. maintaining an open look on the play. Lead, looking for the point of contact. Properly indicating a three-point try. Staying with the shooter, up, down, and a little bit more. Then officiating rebounding action. Maintaining an open body position, open to the players. So again, let's look at the fundamentals. Trail official with a non-competitive matchup, allowed to focus on additional off-ball action. Great habit. The fact that the trail observed this screen is fantastic. Ball goes to the lead's primary official, steps down for rebounding action. Super connected. Even on this really large floor, this is a big high school floor, two-person officiating. The trail official is like putting himself in a position where he's going to have to really sprint hard to get to the end line on the opposite end, but willing to take that risk because this action requires our attention. Stays connected, open look, tremendous. Let's review the lead. Mirroring ball position, focused on competitive matchups, recognizing players in their primary coverage area, on-ball matchup, has obtained and then maintains an open look, stays with a shooter, up, down, and a little bit more, then focuses on rebounding action. Keeps a wide angle, open look on play, has bodies on rebounding, dead ball, stays open to the players. Three-person officiating, dead ball contact, unofficiated. Whenever we have plays that are unofficiated, that's a problem. That's a big problem. One of the big challenges in working two-person games is our ability to have looks on plays are less than when we're on a three-person game. But when we're on a three-person game, there's absolutely no excuse for unofficiated action. Let's look at the habits. Calling official is a great position to receive the play, puts a whistle on the play, but immediately turns ahead and moves to the table. At the spot of the foul, we have work to do. We have basic work to do. If we complete the basics at the spot of the foul, color and number, informing the player, preliminary signal, making sure that the play has finished, then move to the table, then we're in our best possible position. As the center official, we have to be aware when this foul call is made, two officials will be moving. Who's going to be stationary? Who has to take our largest responsibility for having eyes on players? The center official does. Now let's look at the trail official here. Screening action, right? Which is fine, but note he's moving away. Here's the 28-foot line here. Moving away, ends up at close to the 38-foot line, and then runs to the spot. Running to the spot is not necessary here. What is the call? What's the call on the court? We have a foul. We have failed. The calling official also fails to designate the spot. We need purposeful movement from the trail, but we don't need to be running. We need awareness. We need body open to players. even though we know we have a center official who's static and can have a big picture view, this official is making an arrangement with the crew. He's saying, I'm going to make this call. Now I have to go report to the table. So the rest of my crew, you need to observe players. In my absence, I have to disconnect from the players to go through the process of reporting. You two are responsible. One of you is going to be moving and has to have the proper habits as a moving official. Body open to players, knowing what's going to happen next. Center official does not have to move and has to accept more responsibility for having a view on players. Trail, we want to keep the game moving, yes, but we don't want to give up our fundamental responsibilities in an effort to try to speed things along. So we fail to designate the spot, we fail to observe the play, and we could see reasons why. If we just do our basic fundamentals at the spot of the foul, take care of our reporting mechanics, if we took time here to designate the spot, we'd keep our body open to players. Don't turn away. Keep your body open to players. Right, a lot of congestion on the court right here. Center official in great position, right? We got 8 players here. We don't want to leave it all to the trail. Shot goes up, rebounding action. Whoa. Preliminary signal, double foul, called by the lead. New trail after the made basket. This is an atypical play. This is not a common situation, right? That's what we need to recognize immediately. So we have a shot goes up. If the shooter had been fouled, that's a typical situation. If there had been displacement on the rebound, that's a fairly typical situation. But this is an atypical situation. The ball's gone in, and then the timing of the whistle says something unusual has happened. So as a crew, we need to immediately adopt that mindset. Something atypical has happened. What information may we need to provide? What kind of foul just occurred? Remember that the ball becomes dead when it enters the basket. Is this a dead ball contact play? The ball's in the basket. Has the foul occurred? No. Players are engaged. The ball is dead. And then we have some action. We have players' arms lock together. One player throws the others over the hip. Okay? This is dead ball contact. This should be ruled double technical fouls on the 2 players. The administration is going to be the same. Whenever there's a double foul, there's no free throws. We go to the point of interruption. But instead of personal fouls, those players will now have technical fouls assessed. Yes, we want to get this stuff right. Maybe one of the players already had a technical foul, and they would then be disqualified. Failure to administer these things properly will cost us in the big picture. So, our recommendation, number one thing is identify. That's atypical. That's not something usual. Slow down. That way we can ensure we administer things properly. So we're processing. What do you have? He's processing. The calling official's processing. And he says, I've got a double foul, right? Slow down. Give your partners a chance to bring information if they have it. Then we can report, and we can report properly. So that's our takeaway from this play. Something atypical has happened. What do we do as a crew? What behaviors do we want? We want to slow down. If we come in, we want to come in with basketball language. That whistle came after the basket. The ball was dead. Something along those lines. Now, let's take a look at the positioning of the crew. So we start the clip. We have 7 players in the trail's primary. The center official is moving to help officiate that action, and that is fantastic. This is good. Now we've got 4 eyes on the 7 players. That breaks through. We have possible screening action. Center official moving back to home base, obtaining an open look. Play goes away. He's in great position as center for the rebounding action. Now we have our atypical play. Let's look at the behaviors that have just occurred. Right? Trail official, great position. Ball goes in the basket. Look at the first reaction. Run away from the play. First thing we need to do is evaluate the defense. Right? That's going to determine where we go. If we had a full court press with 10 players here, the new lead is going to be, free at the division line or maybe just a little bit in the back court. We want to stay connected to the game and not run away from the game. So in order to do that, we have to first evaluate what the players are going to do. Ball goes in, center's moving, but staying connected. Now he knows we have a whistle. This is good. Open to the court, observing the players, right? So let's look at our offended players. We got one player throwing the other player hard to the ground. I mean, that kid hit the ground hard. The player who threw the other player down is moving away. This is good. But we do have an opponent coming in. This opponent may be coming in peace. The kid in white may say, look, I just got thrown to the ground really hard. I am angry as heck and may not be interested in this peaceful gesture, sportsmanlike gesture, and respond with something unsportsmanlike. But we need to observe this action. Center does a good job keeping body position open and a look at the play. Can improve with proximity, but has a look at the play, and that's most important. Calling official is processing. You can see the wheels turning in the head, right? We'd prefer that the official stay back here and do the processing from here. But we have a ruling, seems to be accepted. Clip gets cut off. We assume they reported common fouls, and we'd sort it out. If instead we took time and we go to an official, or the center official comes in and says, partner, what do you got? That way we can talk it through, what we have, what we're going to report, how we'll proceed, where will the throw-in be, etc. We can get all our I's dotted and T's crossed before we go report. We've got a non-competitive matchup here. We've got a player passing the ball, and we've got post-action on the opposite block. This is our most competitive matchup, but we do have engagement by players here as well, challenging as a result. Note the body position with the shoulders turned, so no awareness of what's going on here, right? That's just something we have to recognize. It's a consequence of the situation. But lead official is saying, I've got this matchup 100%. Trail official has the on-ball matchup, right? Observes the play, makes a ruling. Perfect. We love the conviction, right? So this looks like a situation where we're making a cumulative judgment. The white player using his arms to pin the defensive player, but the defensive player is grabbing the arms. They are engaged, right? So we're grabbing both ways. Right arm by white, left arm by black. We're in the third period. We would have assumed that this action was cleaned up previously, but it hasn't been. Probably the assessment was just cumulatively, there's too much going on in each direction. How can we resolve this? And goes to the double foul. We're going to report. Would we describe this as a typical play? No, this is an atypical play. So we'd want communication between the officials. Where is the resulting throw-in going to be? It'll be where the ball was when the foul occurred. The resulting throw-in would be here. There'll be no free throws shot. On a double foul, we go to point of interruption. We have the white bench right here. We're going to inbound the ball right in front of the white bench. They are not fans of this call. They feel that their player was fouled. Okay, so this calling official is going to have to choose his reporting area. We would say take the high road. Go around the players here and report here so that if there's any negative energy or comments coming from the bench, that it has to be a very public situation. Let's look at this on-ball matchup that the Trail is officiating. Look at the relative competitiveness of this matchup. Does this deserve proximity on the court and telescoping that this is the only thing the Trail is looking at? No, it does not warrant that. This position on the court, as the Trail is, not good and pays dividends down the road where we're not in great position here. So we've got unofficiated players here because of the way that the crew is focused. And we've got an I formation. Trail, in this instance, we'd expect them to be here, 28-foot line, open look on the play, and able to, with body position, open to the players. But now we have out of position, not open to the players. So this official's looking here, this official's looking here. There's nothing, we can't see off ball. Now, two-person mechanics, it's the Wild West. We cannot see all the action. That's a given, but we want to be in the best position possible, right? So this screening action here is unofficiated. This is obviously not part of the clip, but we have no chance. If something, if we had an elbow by the screener and this kid ends up with a bloody nose, we cannot see that. And that's related to our position, right, our fundamentals. This initial position here leaves us out of position here. And then ultimately when the ball is passed here, we're out of position for that as well. If we were here for this action with a body open to the court, we'd have a better position to be aware of this action and could position adjust to have an open look on this play when the player receives the ball. We end up with a Trail official who is at the volleyball intersection, which is almost always a bad place to be as Trail. Positives. Lead official recognizes this is the matchup that needs attention, and that's fantastic. There's a lot of cumulative action going on. Not what we would expect in the third period, the end of the third period in a game. We would have thought that the way we've approached the game had cleaned this action up, but it is what it is. Ruling comes, and the ruling is decisive. Fantastic, right? I have a foul. I have a double foul. He's making the proper move around the players here, knowing that this is harm's way over here. This is fantastic, right? So a lot of positives. Room for improvement. Trail position here, not good. This on-ball matchup does not need this level of proximity and focus. We need to have an open look on the play, but that could be achieved from here. So we're too far onto the court, and our crew, as a result, is in poor position. In order to be in this position on the court, I'd expect there to be two players on the floor competing for a loose ball or something to that rose to that level. We're out of position, improving, but keep going. Get down here. So we end up with a lot of positives on the play and some negatives on the play. When we're analyzing our game video, we're looking at all of these aspects.
Hey, thanks everybody. Thanks for sticking around to the end. I do have a lofty goal this year of getting to 10,000 subscribers. But to do that, I'm going to need your help. If you find value in these videos, share it with fellow officials, share it with your local association, share them on your Facebook page so I can get connected to more officials. We can get everybody on the same page and getting better together. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next video.